All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today we're doing something a little different. We're actually cracking open a real declassified Pentagon document to build a survival guide for, well, for the unthinkable, a zombie apocalypse. And no, I'm not kidding. This isn't some movie script. This is the government's actual contingency plan. Let's get into it.
So let's just start with a direct quote from the US military's zombie plan. Yeah, you heard that right. And it is, well, it's pretty chilling. This one sentence, it basically tells you everything you need to know about the total collapse of authority, a world where the entire chain of command is just gone.
So that begs the question, right? It's probably the most important question for any of us caught in that kind of chaos. If the government is out of the picture, who's coming to save you? Who's got your back? Well, the answer is, not what you think.
The answer, believe it or not, is laid out in this 31-page document. It's called Con Plan 8888, and it's the Pentagon's actual guide for, and I quote, counter-zombie dominance operations. Seriously, this is a real planning document from U.S. Strategic Command, and it spells out exactly what the military will do, and, maybe more importantly, what it won't do. Okay, so the plan breaks down the response into a few different phases. At first, the military will be monitoring things, helping out local authorities, that kind of stuff. But then we get to phase 3. And that's where everything just completely changes. They lock down their bases, they get their own people safe, and then for 40 days, they just hunker down and wait.
So, this number here, what does it mean? Well, this is the number of civilian rescue missions the military plans to conduct during that critical 40-day lockdown. 0. A big fat 0. No rescue missions. No one's coming.
Yeah, the plan is, it's brutally honest. It just assumes that local cops are going to be completely overrun. Hospitals? Forget it. They'll turn into infection hotspots. And for those first few weeks, the most critical time, there is zero outside help coming for you. For anyone outside those military fences, the Pentagon's message is crystal clear. You are on your own.
Okay, so that brings us to the most important part of this whole thing. Your survival, my survival, it all comes down to what you do in those first 48 hours. Since no one is coming to save you, your first move is everything. And it all starts with where you are.
Look, the logic here is pretty simple, right? Cities are absolute death traps. You've got millions of people jammed together. It's basically an all-you-can-eat buffet for zombies. The infection is going to spread way faster than anyone can possibly contain it. So your first goal, your only goal, is to get out. You need to head for somewhere remote, somewhere you can defend. Think a cabin, a farm, a homestead. You need space, you need resources, and you need fewer people, period.
So let's say you make it out. Getting to a safe spot is a huge first step. But surviving once you're there, that's a whole other ballgame. That takes the right gear and a solid strategy, and you have to have it ready before things go sideways.
So if we follow the cold, hard logic of the plan, your immediate priorities really fall into 3 main buckets. First, you've got to have your bug-out bag ready to go. Second, you need to think about your weapons, and think quiet. And third, you need to figure out who to trust, how to find the right people to rebuild with.
Okay, let's talk about that quiet weapons thing, because this is huge. Think about it. A gunshot is basically a dinner bell in an apocalypse. It screams, "Hey, over here, fresh meat," to every zombie and, just as bad, every desperate survivor within earshot. Quiet weapons, a bow, a bat, a crowbar, even a good knife, they are way, way more effective for long-term survival. They keep you alive, and they keep you hidden. And that bug-out bag, it needs to be packed and sitting by your door, like right now. And we're not talking about a bunch of bottled water or heavy cans of food that are just going to slow you down. No, you need to think sustainable, multi-use tools. A water filter, not a bunch of bottles. High-strength paracord. A solar-powered radio and flashlight. And of course, duct tape because, well, it fixes everything. These are tools for rebuilding society, not just getting through the night.
But here's the thing. Even if you do everything right, you've got the perfect remote location, you've got the perfect gear, there's one final, really unsettling threat that this whole grim scenario forces us to think about. A threat that might just be the most dangerous one of all. So let's really think about this for a second. In a world of the dead, after the government is gone and the cities have fallen, what is the single biggest threat to you and your family? It's not the zombies, it's not running out of food, or even the weather. And that brings us to the ultimate, and maybe the most chilling takeaway from any real-world survival plan. When all the rules are gone, humanity itself becomes the biggest wildcard. Your ability to judge someone's character, to build trust, and to defend yourself against other desperate people, that's going to be the skill that really decides if you make it or not. The final question isn't just about how you survive the dead. It's about how you survive the living.